Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the uh, about Gauss or Gauss's law. But before that, review sa takariyot sa tuang electric flux. Okay, so katong electric flux na-upload na nako to siya sa GenU. Like appeal na pud to ang PowerPoint ato, diadto and also ang iyang recorded discussion. But before ta mag-proceed sa Gauss's law, mag-review sa tagamay ani atong electric flux. Okay? So, um, what we have learned sa tuwang previous nga discussion is like if you have two charges and they are of the same charge, let's say for example, um, they are both positive. So what happens if they are both positive? So are they gonna attract or are they gonna be separated? Anybody?
They separate, sir, or repel.
Separate sila, di ba? Kay ang if opposite sila, they will both be attracted. So ma-attract silang duha. Pero if dili sila opposite, so mag-separate sila ana. Okay? So that is true for charges. Okay, so we have also a case here wherein we have charged parallel plates. So ang ilahang connection, so na-link silang duha. Okay? So na-link sila because they are of the opposite charge. Okay? And then if um as you can see there, positive man ni siya diari nga plate and then diari pod kay negative. So even ang ilang distribution. Okay? So because they both have, so kaning nga side man good, puro siya positively charged siya tanan and also they are negatively charged siya tanan. So that's why even ang ilang distribution. Okay? So if we consider here sa atuang sa atong Gauss's law, we have there positive charge nga Q. Okay? It is around a spherical atmosphere. So na siya spherical atmosphere which is Gaussian sphere. Okay? So natay positive charge nga Q. And then na siya R nga what do you call this? R ato ang radius ani niya. Okay? And if we draw a line or like take some part sa atong region, yari sa atong sphere lang, within the sphere, if we take any region, okay, if we take tag any region yari, and uh, we will have our electric field, which is E. Okay, so muna siya ato ang electric field. So this is automatically perpendicular to Q. Okay, so if you take any region diari, so if mo take kag any region diara, makuan siya, perpendicular siya. So maka-form siya 90 degrees. So that's what it means if it is perpendicular. Okay? If we will base it on an angle. Okay? Now, we have there our electric field is given by E is equal to K Q okay, times Q divided by R squared. So atong R dara mo na sa atong distance, atong K is given by this one. So given is siya nga constant atong K, that is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught or E naught. Okay? Where E naught is the permittivity of free space. Okay? So ang kani siyang E is equal to KQ divided by R squared is a given. Muna siya sa itong Gaussian sphere. Okay? Given na siya guys ha. And then, if we try to substitute sa atong K diari, so i-substitute diari, atong ipuli diari, ang K, because na may value atong K good. Okay. So, we will now have E is equal to 1 over 4 pi E naught times Q divided by R squared. Now, since na naman tayo na, and if you remember, sa inyong amot, sa nga years inyong math, nga ang area sa sphere na to, ang area sa sphere na to is equal to 4 pi r squared. So since present na natong 4 pi r squared sa both nga sa both terms diari, we can substitute a for this one. So we have there e is equal to, so ato siyang gi-derive guys. Ato siyang gi-derive. So mahimo siyang 4 atong 4 pi diari, atong 4 pi r squared will become a, di ba? It will become a times e naught. Okay, so since 1 raman na siya, we can just simply write q lang diretso. Okay? Ito lang siyang i-delete ang 1 di ari. Kaya if ato ni siya i-multiply man god, ato siyang iusa ba? Siya iusa. So 1 times q is just equal to q. And then atong 4 pi r squared, and it is equal to a, which is ang area sa sphere. So that's why na a na siya. Okay? And then, since atong gipangita diri ato ang electric flux man, atong gipangita, so therefore we will isolate E naught. Okay? So what we will do is to cross multiply. Ito yung cross multiply lang ni siya. So we will multiply A to both sides. Ipe to both sides ang A. So ma-cancel out diari ang A, and we are left with EA, which is equal to Q over E naught. Okay? So the product EA is important in Gauss's law and is called electric flux P E. So phi ni siya nga Greek letter. So we can simply call this the electric flux. So mo man ni siya ang notation sa atong electric flux, which is PE. So itong PE is just equal to EA. So for a plane surface that makes an angle theta, electric flux is given by P PE, or the electric flux is equal to EA times cosine of theta. So cosine of theta siya. So let's have an example. We have there, what is the electric flux of the following sets of variables? You have there E, which is equal to 9.5 times 10 to the power of 13 newtons per coulomb, and RA, which is equal to 1.6 times 10 to the power of negative 5 m squared. We also have our theta, which is equal to 75 degrees. So as you can remember, sa tuang formula, dararaman itong formula guys, kanila itong gamiton. Pangita atong electric flux, so we will just simply use the formula. Our formula there will be electric flux is equal to E times A cosine of theta. So we will just simply substitute the values. Substitute lang natong values di ara. And then mo ni siya ato ang theta, which is cosine of 75 degrees. And then ito na siyang i-input sa ato ang calculator diretso. So we will get the electric flux will be equal to 3.93 times 10 to the power of 8 volts times meters. Okay? Muna siya itong V. So, next is another example. Ipangita na po na itong electric flux. We have there our electric field, which is equal to 3.4 times 10 to the power of 23 newtons per coulomb. Our A, which is equal to 2.3, or our area, which is equal to 2.3 times 10 to the power of negative 2m squared, and also our theta. So it is basically a substitution of values. So ito ra siyang i-substitute ang values dari. Given man na pud atong formula, and we also have the three variables, which is the e, the a, and also the theta. So we can just simply substitute the values and try to input it in our calculators. So input na to sa itong calculator so that we will get the value or our final answer. So the final answer for this one is equal to 8.17 times 10 to the power of 20 V times M. Okay, so mo-proceed ta sa itong Gauss's law. Another question sa itong electric flux. Guys, questions. Ay
Wala,
question?
sir.
Wala ra? Okay, so proceed ta sa Gauss's law na to. So sa itong Gauss's law, as you can see, we have there our sphere, tara, sa ato ang previous nga discussion, tara, natay sphere diari, and um, i-take siya og magnitude, which is ato ang R, okay? So muna siya atong E diari, muna siya atong E. This will be the region, okay? Ako ibalik diari ha, sa ato ang electric flux. Tara. Muna siya ang region na to nga E. Tara. Muna siya ang region nga E. Tara. So, muna siya tong region, and then i-take po siya og, what you call this, another nga, E. So, if ni-take ang another direction diari, so it will form an angle. So, this one, ni-form siya another angle. So, since diari pa man sa taman, diri pa ta. So, diari sa Gauss's law na ta, ni-take na siya og angle. And our formula for this one will be E times the cosine of phi times the delta A. So, delta A na siya, or this one. Okay. So, our electric flux for this one will be equal to, kani siya, mo take ni siya for one region pa man ni siya. What if duha ang region? Like, what if diari? Lahi na pod. So, mo take na po kaglain diari. What if lahi na pod nga region? So, depende na siya how many regions nga iyang i-take. Okay? So, it is basically the sum or the total electric flux for each region. So, muna siya ang sa itong Gauss's law. Okay? So, sa ato ang buhaton ani niya, so since inani man siya, depende sa region atong gitake. So, how many regions man siya? Pila ka regions? So, we might as well take the summation for this one. So, kani siya, shortcut lang ni siya. This means nga ang summation siya for all the regions. So, summation of all the electric flux depending on how many regions. Okay? So, mantog na siya na ay sigma notation which indicates summation. Okay? So, gi-add lang na nimo siya for each region. Okay. So, Gauss's law, therefore, can be stated as the electric flux PE through a Gaussian surface equal to the net charge Q enclosed by the surface is divided by what do you call this, epsilon naught or E naught, or the permittivity of free space. So we have there our PE, which is equal to the summation of E cosine of phi times delta A, which is equal to Q over E naught. Okay? So, ay mo ka confused guys ngano na siyang inana kay this is from our previous nga topic, which is kani siya. Tara. Okay? Tara ang Q diri oh. So muna siya ang Q divided by E. Okay? So para maklaro pod dara oh. Ano siya ipuan ito lang ha. In 3. So since mo ni siya ato di ba kay gikan man tot og E is equal to K times Q over R squared. Ikan man ta di ara. Ang atong K is equal to 1 over 4 pi of P naught. So atong K di ari is basically this, 4 pi R squared. No, 4 pi E naught. We will multiply it by Q times R squared. So pag multiply na to ana niya, mabilantag Q over 4 pi, uh, no, kung 4 pi R squared ay mahimog A, di ba? Mahimog siya A. So Q na siya guys, Q. Dayon E naught. So since EA man itong ipangita, so multiply na nimo siya both sides by A, makancel out ang A dire. So that's why nabilan kag Q over E naught. So muna sa diari, Q over E naught. So this is basically E times A. So mura rin siya E times A, which is equal to Q divided by E naught. So same ra siya diari. Okay? Now, the unit for the electric flux is N, so Newton, times meter squared per coulomb. So we will apply the Gauss, we'll apply Gauss's law. So so you have the electric field of charged thin spherical shell. So kani siya sets of sets of what you call this formulas ni siya. For R, which is equal to R, so may kalahian nila aning R nga gamay o R nga dako. So ang R, muna siya basically ang atoang radius. Okay. So muna siya tong radius, guys. Ang R is ang distance niya, which is ang small nga R. Okay? So what if mas dako ang gamay nga R, no, what you call, ang atoang lowercase nga R, what if dako siya, greater ang iyang value sa atong radius? So we will have a formula of E is equal to Q divided by 4 pi E naught R squared. Okay? For lowercase r lesser than capital R, you have there E, which is equal to 0. So E at the inside of the shell is 0. So ang inside the shell daw di ari, ang E niya will just be equal to 0. Okay? So what about sa electrical field inside a parallel plate capacitor? You have there phi is equal to EA, where E is equal to um call this omega, mas siguro ni siya na ano na sine, Greek letter, divided by uh, E naught. Now we have there number 3, electrical field for a long straight charged wire. Okay. So you have there E, which is equal to hindi ko sure sa aning ako na lambda, mas siguro ni siya. Yeah. Lambda is equal E is equal to lambda divided by 2 pi E naught R, where lambda is equal to Q over I. So kani siyang I, i-discuss na to ni siya sa future nga lessons. So for now, diri patataman sa to ang Gauss's law. Okay? So natay questions, guys. Questions. Ay questions?
Wala kay question, sir.
Okay. So if what the questions, see you next meeting. Magkuan ra gyapon ta, proceed mo padayon ra gyapon ta sa tong gi-discuss karon.